One. Okay, so I already have my eyelids primed, and I just prime them with my Shape Tape, and I just pat it on and leave it, and it dries down nicely. It does work for me. If you need an actual eyeshadow primer, then you use whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up the base here, and I'm just going to tap this off. And I'm going to go ahead and just tap that all over just to prime the lid. And what this will do is just help you really blend your shadows down. And it's basically the same color as the Shape Tape anyway. We're going to go into the color Love, pick some up, tap it off, and we're just going to get our guideline and use light pressure. And remember, build up as you go along. No need to go in with a full amount on your brush. Really build it up to where you want it. And I will tell you, if you're somebody who really struggles with this step alone, use a fluffier brush that is really soft and spreads, because it will help to distribute the shadow better for you. This one's a little on the stiffer side, so I would highly recommend this. You know, if you're really good with your shadows, this is okay to use. But if not, go into like the E35. That will work a little bit better at blending for you, because when you're using the shadow, you really want to make sure that you're applying the color and then really softening the line on the outer edge. Go in now, and I'm going to pick up Passion, and I'm using an Morphe M441. Take the tip of the brush, tap off, and then we're going to really accentuate the outer corner. This is going to be more of a va-va-va-boom look for us, because I'm trying to do different looks to appeal to everyone, because some women like a whole lot more eyeshadow. They love a lot of satin on their lids. They just really like a full-on glam look with their eyeshadows. So I'm going to try and give you a little bit of everything in my tutorials. I started out with the Hollywood Glam, which is a very sultry look, but it's a lot less in application. And then the second one I did was a Golden Glam, which was a subtle Golden Glam, but still a little bit more. And this one here, I'm going to actually really give you a full-on, almost a smoky satin eye. So I'm just applying this on the outer edge. That's that Passion. Go right over the tape line. Really work it into the crease, outer crease. Go in with a softer brush. This is the Bdellium, a great brush to have. It just really helps you use the tip to really just soften out that color. You want to make sure that you soften the line. You don't have to really worry too much about this, because we're going to add some color there. But the outer line here, really soften that. Gently. Okay, so we're going to go in with a flat shader brush. This is MAC. The number's worn off. I'm not sure what it is. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Rose Gold. I'm hoping this looks, I haven't played with this. Is the first time using this palette. So I'm really packing that color in, because I can see there's a lot of fallout. Tap off. And now I want to place that in the center. So pretty. Really pretty. This color is being placed right in the center. And a little froggy in my throat. Same thing on the other eye. Okay, so you can see I've placed that right in the center. I'm going to go back in with the Bdellium, and I don't want to spread this color all over the eye. I just want to soften the edge and join these two. We'll go back in with some of that color in a second. So I'm just softening it. So now I want to go back in to that Passion color, and I just want to really cut out the outer corner. And just softly going over where those two colors join. Okay, so I've built up the outer. I'm gonna go back in with the Bdellium, and I just wanna soften where they join. I'm just using the tip of this brush for that. Turn it over and just soften the outer edge. Softening the outer edge, and then we just wanna blend this color. Okay, so now I have an even smaller flat shader, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Summer, because Wild Child is pink, but it's not going to look good on my eyes. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that gold, just a small amount of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the inner eye. So the colors are just, you know, they're blending into each other. You don't want to necessarily cover anything you've already done. They're just going to blend into each other. Okay, so there we have the gold place. So now take your Bdellium brush again, and you want to just lightly soften over that. It is so important to blend. You don't want to see your stop and goes. You don't even really want to see where your matte shadow ends or starts with your satin finish shadow. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so that is the look we have so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back after and I'm going to highlight the center. So now looking at my eyes, I think it needs just a pop. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Celestial. Now be careful with this if you have this palette. Just take a little bit of it. And I just want to brighten it up just slightly. So I'm just going to add a little bit of it just where the two join, the matte. So I have 3 shades now going on over there, but I'm showing you how to use your palette. Okay, so I'm just going to place this color right where the matte and the rose gold meet. It's so subtle you really won't notice it, but I think it's just going to add a beautiful look. Okay, so there you have that. So now I do want to take my Bdellium one last time, and I just want to soften over that I just, notice I'm holding my brush so far down so I can't really press hard. Okay, and that is that. So let's take off the tape now. And you might have to do some cleaning up, but what this tape does is it just gives you a really nice edge to work with, and it lifts the eyes up naturally. Okay, so, and always touch your tape to your hand before putting it on your face so you don't do any damage in pulling. Okay, so now I just want to take a sponge, and I have my damp Sonia Kashuk, and I want to wipe away anything that may have fallen down. And I'm going to apply an under eye primer, and this is just the Smashbox, and I just put a little bit of it on my fingers. And for me, this just holds everything in place. It's not a necessary step, but on the holidays, I really like my makeup to stay the way I put it on all the way to the end of the night. I don't want to see, you know, folds here and there. I got enough of them on my own. I don't need to add any. So I'm going to go ahead and place the Charlotte Tilbury number 4 for that extra glow. And I just put that on the forehead, on the cheeks, and I don't think you can overuse this at all. It's just so subtle and beautiful. So I go ahead and I place that. Now I do just use my hands to go ahead and massage it on. Now, of course, if you have a really oily T-zone, you may want to avoid the extra glow on your nose. There's not much of me that's oily, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and place it on, do it above the lip, and that's what's so nice about this. I have really deep lip lines, and of course you can see my marionette lines, but this does not accentuate or collect in it. So I really love the Charlotte Tilbury. It's just so beautiful, well worth every penny. So now I'm going to pull out an oldie but a goodie foundation that I haven't used in a long time because I've been trying to find cleaner products and foundations that are lighter and more suitable for my aging skin. But when I really want to go all glam, there are certain foundations that I do grab. And of course, I am dry skin. If you have a more oily skin, you're not going to like the same foundations as me, but perhaps there's something in this line that caters to your skin type. So it is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. If you wanted a drugstore, you could go with the Lumi by L'Oreal. We're gonna go with our Giorgio Armani, and I wear number 6, and I just pump out 3 pumps on my hand. Then I just touch the points on my face where I usually put my foundation. And then I'm going to take, now I'm going to try a new sponge today. I've not yet tried this, and it's the Morphe. I hear so many people talking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the excess foundation that is on me, and I'm going to do a pouncing. I love this foundation. It pounces on beautifully. This foundation can be worn with, you can apply it with a makeup brush. It just goes on so nice with everything. So I do bring it down on the neck just slightly. Now, I find it most important to try to match your skin so that you don't have to put so much down your neck and get it all over your clothes. For me anyway, but sometimes it's difficult because companies don't always have a range for all of us, and then we have to start mixing and making them work for us. So this foundation, you can see, has a beautiful, beautiful glow, and the number 6 is actually almost perfect for me as far as color. I do think I had a hard time finding a decent color with this one. Go ahead and just put the excess over your ears. I don't put a lot on the ear, I just do excess, and like I said, I just blend it down nicely. And then I take the sponge, I'm going to turn it over and just go over it again. Notice I did not go up underneath my eyes with this. Move your face around so that you can fill in all the nooks and crannies. It's important at our age. Okay, so there is the foundation. Beautiful. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the Shape Tape. I did buy this. I'm using it up. I had to learn how to use it. If you overuse this, you are going to accentuate every single line. This is fine if you're somebody that needs to really cover things up, or you need to have it for some type of profession that you're in, but it's not for an aging skin if you overuse it. Okay, so I'm just patting it underneath the eyes. I'm not going crazy with the concealer. My concealer is to serve one purpose only, and that is to cover up the blueness that runs underneath my eyes. And then I will take a little bit of it on this vein, because that vein looks like somebody punched me in the eye all the time. So I do go up over there. Same thing on the other side. Now again, don't put a lot here if you have wrinkles, because it's going to accentuate. Okay, so there is my concealer. I will take a sponge and I will just lightly go over it. And that is the finished look for that. Okay, so now I need to set it. I have been using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder underneath the eyes, and it does seem to it does seem to work well underneath the eyes. It does have a smell to it. I guess that's normal. So, just get used to it if you really love it. All right, so I'm going to take that Morphe sponge, and there's some in the lid here. I'm just going to press it onto my sponge. And I'm going to touch underneath my eyes and just set the under eye all the way up to where I put that Shape Tape, because I do want that to stay in place. And it is important that you set underneath your eyes, because if you don't, and you're somebody who especially has like oilier skin or something like that, you're going to help your mascara just transfer. So setting underneath the eyes is important, especially for a big event. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the La Mer powder. Don't forget, you can use the Flower Miracle Glow, Miracle Glow. It's a beautiful dupe, and I'm going to use my La Mer brush. Now this is the older powder. I had bought backups when I found out they were going out of circulation with this one and bringing in a new one, and I do like the older one better than the newer one, and I do feel that the Flower is more comparable to the old one versus the new one. Load the brush up, tap it off, And then I don't want to necessarily matte my face out, so that's why I'm choosing the Glow. I'm just going to go ahead and press the areas that I know I'm going to be putting bronzer and blusher on. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you see it leaves you with a beautiful, beautiful glow. If this one is out of your budget, go ahead and try to find the Flower. It's really, really nice, but make sure you get the Miracle Glow because they do have a matte, a Miracle Matte. You don't want that one, okay? Unless you want that one, and then you want that one. So what I do now, after I've done my powder, and this is an unnecessary step, but I feel it just really helps me as an aging woman to really make sure everything is in place. So I take my damp sponge, and this is the Sonia Kashuk, and I just go over everything. And I think it helps to take that powder look away, for one. And it just makes sure that everything on your face is really blended where it should be. Go up underneath the eye with the point, and there you have it. Okay, so now the face is ready for my bronzer, and I'm going to use the Anastasia powder bronzer in Rosewood. Absolutely love this, and I'm using it with a MAC. I think this brush has been discontinued, so any brush you have, I mean, if you have the Tom Ford bronzer brush, now I don't use it. I like this brush, but I don't use it in tutorials because it's so big, and I think that, you know, if someone went and bought this and they weren't really, you know, good with putting on things, or they're just in the learning phase, this may discourage you because it's so big. But it is a beautiful brush, so if you have that, you can go ahead and use that. But I'm going to use this one because it's just easier. So try to find something that's not humongous, and a nice flatter style one is nicer than a rounder one because you can actually turn it this way, and not, if you turn it this way, it's going on wide. And when I give these little tips, those tips are for everybody, but mostly for the people who are struggling, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just touch that in, tap it off, and I do touch it just on the back to make sure I don't have a whole glob on there. And we're just going to lightly, notice I'm holding the brush far away again, we're going to lightly, and as I do it, I turn the brush in my hand, I kind of twist it so that I'm getting all of that bronzer that I wanted off. And isn't that just a beautiful bronzer? Do the other side. Touch the brush lightly, touch it to the mirror, tap it off, and I'm going to go ahead and give a little contouring around my forehead. And I stay up a little bit higher because I don't want to cut my forehead off. So stay up higher. If you have a really long forehead, then you could put it down a little bit further, but I don't really. I just bronze around. And of course you can go ahead if you want and use your bronzer for underneath, but I am going to use a little contour today. And the one I'm going to use is the Dior, but if you have the contour palette from Kat Von D, you can go ahead and use, or if you have Kevin Aquan, his will work, or any neutral, cooler tone bronzer or sculpting powder that you have, you can use for this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this one. It's a little more on the golden tone, but it's okay for me because I have golden undertones to my skin. Okay, so now this is where I'll take a brush that's not meant for this and I'll use it for it anyway. This is the Anastasia A23, and I like this brush because it's narrow enough and it fits right into the contour. So if you have this brush and you struggle with your contour, give it a try. So I'm going to dip into the matte, this one here. I'm going to tap it on the lid so that you work the contour into the fibers of the brush. And then you can see where my natural contour is, and I'm just going to go ahead and really just build that up right in the back area. I don't want to really bring it down because I might make myself look a little gaunt at my age, but you can bring it all the way down if you want. So I'm just going to soften that out now. So turn the brush as you are feathering back and forth, and you'll just soften that out, and you've given yourself a really nice contour. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so cheeks are contoured. Now I want to take that same brush and that same contour, and I'm going to go up behind my jaw where it joins the ear, and I really want to chisel that out and go right along the edge of my jaw with this. And you can see that it starts to really, it casts a shadow so that you look like you have your jaw again. Now I've really sculpted it out so you can really see how that looks. Then you want to go in with a brush and you need to soften that down. So I'm just going to use this because it's here. And just soften that so that when people are looking at you from the side, they're not seeing that big streak. Going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we're going to go in and blush. And I'm going to use a Sigma Duo Fiber. This is the F15 brush. I like using a fiber brush for my blush. And I'm using the Chanel Rose Bronze blush. You can use any blush that is a rosy bronze for this look. And you also should choose a blush that has a very light satin finish to it. If you're a matte girl, go ahead and then you can just highlight, because you do want to have a little bit of glow, but you don't want to have a strong highlight on your cheek when you have all this glow going on in your eyes. So I'm going to go ahead, pick that blush up, work it into the fibers of that brush, tap it off, and I'm going to go ahead and just tap that on the high point of my cheek. I'm not really drawing it way back here because I want to really have my cheeks glow. But I don't want to bring it in here because then it's just going to ruin my whole look and make me look like I didn't know what I was doing when I was putting my blush on, okay? Now if you have a really flat face and you need to bring those areas out, go right ahead. Or if you like that look, you go ahead. But for me, I like it placed right on the high point of where my cheeks used to be. So I'm tapping it on first, and then I just go ahead and I really buff it out. And it just brings out a beautiful, beautiful finish. Then of course, because you know, I'm a creature of habit, I've been doing this for years, long before YouTube. I always brush my eyelid with my blush. And I'm not doing my eyelid, I do the high point of the eyebrow. And it just, you can see it just ties it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Just a little bit. It just ties everything in. Okay, so there is the look for that. So now we need to work on the under eye. So now I'm going to go into this passion that we were using on the outer part. And I want to really just tie the outer part of my eye in to the top part now. So you just run along where that tape line is, and you can see how beautiful, or what a beautiful look you get from that. And it's done all the work for you. So we have joined the outer part of that eye, and you can see how it really lifts the eye up. So go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so I've joined the outer eye. So now I'm going to take a clean brush that allows me to just go and soften that whole line from the outer to the upper. Now don't drag down on this. Make sure that you're sweeping up. And it just helps to really marry that all together and soften any harsh line you may have had from the tape. I'm going to pick up a flat shader, and I'm going to pick that rose gold up that I used on my lid, and I just want to tie a little bit of that underneath. And I don't want to use a loose brush for this because I don't want to have it all over the place. So a nice flat shader where you're just picking up a small amount, and then just sweeping all the way to the inner eye. Okay, so now I want to highlight the inner part of my eye. I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up this Dreamer, and I'm just going to touch a little bit of this, and then I'm going to touch it onto the actual lid, and I'm going to go ahead and just highlight right in the center of the eye. Both sides. Okay, so I've placed it on the inside of the eye. What I like to do is then take a fluffy brush, and I like to go in and just soften that up because I don't want to see two little balls of highlight on the inside of my eye. These are just tricks, and especially important for the aging woman. Okay, so there. Now just sweep it underneath so that you have no stop and go points. And that is basically the eyes. So now it's time to tightline, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Estee Lauder Burgundy Suede, but I also found this one by Almay, and I remember I used their Topaz pencil for a long time, and this is called Black Raisin. Let's see what it looks like compared to the Burgundy Suede. Okay, the Burgundy Suede has much more burgundy to it than the Almay pencil does, but if this is out of your price range, look for the Almay pencil. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tightline, and I'm just going to lift up, and I'm going to run this Burgundy Suede all the way around And I really want to brush up against my lashes. And that's what it looks like. It gives you a really nice feline look. And then when I put my mascara on, it's just going to all pull together. Now this pencil's not made by Chanel anymore, but I did see one in the drugstore, and it's a light lavender shade. So look for it. It's probably going to be L'Oreal or Maybelline that has it. But what's really nice about this one here, it was a beautiful pencil because it's just a light, you can hardly even see it, light lavender, but they don't make this one anymore. So look for something in a light gold, a light pink, or a light lavender in any line you like. And then just line your lower waterline, and it just helps to brighten up the eye. And I'll show you. And it just brightens up the eye and just brings them to life. It's just that little something extra. Now, if you go with gold, make sure you don't go with something too dark in the gold. You want a brighter gold for this, okay? So now I need to do my brows and mascara, and to help this video not be so long, I am going to go off camera and do my brows and my lashes. And my friends, I am back with the finished look. I slicked my hair back today, and it's in a fancier ponytail wrapped around. If you have hair extensions, you can add them and have a very long, sleek ponytail behind you. You know, it depends on the outfit you're wearing. It depends on the party you're going to, but I'm just trying to show all different options because not everybody has my hair, the amount of hair, or the length of hair. So I'm trying to show you how to achieve festive looks having all types of hair, faces, and colors. Now, these are just a simple pair of, I'm drawing a blank, Lisa sells it. Oh my goodness, Sheila Fajl earrings. I don't think that Lisa has these on her site anymore, but I did bring some other earrings that I wanted to show you how you can change this look up. If you're a bling bling girl, you can go with a more chandelier type earring. And I am going to have lipstick on my teeth, on my Invisaligns, because this is a gloss, which I'll get into in a moment. Okay, so by changing out the earrings, you give yourself a totally different look. And these have little black diamond, faux diamonds, and they're just more of a chandelier type earring. And notice my top has a little bit of a glisten to it, so I don't have any necklace on with it because my hair is pulled back. I want to really make my shirt and the earrings the statement. So I'll show you another pair of earrings, and these earrings are not going to be available because I've had them for a very long time, but this is a pair of earrings that I absolutely love. And these are more bling, but they're just so stunning. I absolutely love these earrings. I bought them years and years and years ago at Steinmart. But just by bringing a lot of, almost an ornate pair of earrings, and you can even, and these are very light, very, very light. So with my hair so severe back, I really want to make the earrings pop, but not take away from everything else. So this is another option of earring. And of course, the last pair is the pair you still can get. And these are the Kate Spade hoops that I showed the other day. And they're just all rhinestone. And I just think they're beautiful. So I'll go ahead and put those on. And then we'll talk about my lips. My eyebrows, the usual suspects, Anastasia. The mascara, I put on one coat of Revitalash Volumizing Primer. I absolutely love using a primer for holiday looks. And the mascara was the first time that I've used it, is the Nars Climax. And this is actually 2 coats, and I think it does a really good job. And again, on the bottoms, I just do a feather touch on the bottom lashes because I feel too much lash on the bottom actually ages us. So really build up your outer lashes and your own lashes, unless of course you wear false eyelashes, then go right ahead. For my lips, I went with the lipstick color Sensational by, who is this by? Maybelline. And it's Pink Fetish. Now these are more of a sheer gloss, so they're not going to last all night, but sometimes when you have a whole lot going on in your eyes, a gloss will work better for you, or a lighter color. I wanted to have a pop of color because my hair is back so severely that I can get away with it. And I did use a liner with this, and I just did a brushing of the liner. And the lip liner that I went with is by NYX, and it's Plush Red, and I just did a just a little, like just a whisper of lip liner, okay? So you can also wear your favorite red with this. And if you do wear your hair back and sleek like this, you then can wear a bold lip with this. So don't shy away from your most favorite red. Purple and reds always go, okay? And this one here it's in between a red pink, so it worked for me. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I think I might try to squeeze in one more holiday look, maybe something in the blue family. This is in the purple family, and you can achieve this look with any palette you have. All right, so that is it for me today. Let me know if you're going to try any of these looks I've been doing. I think I'd like to see. Leave it in the comments for me. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget, subscribe. We're living life here. Go out in the world and be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. I love you all. Bisous.